Hello, guys. Good morning and good afternoon. It's me again, Dr. Jenny Yusuf, physical therapist and doctor of physical therapy, creator and founder of Physiogen PT and Wellness, and the creator of Balance and Fall Support Group. I am a geriatric clinical specialist and certified exercise expert in aging adults, and recently elected as the global vice chair of the Academy of Physical Therapy Association, the Global Health in Aging Adults, SIG. So SIG is a special interest group. So today in our Balance and Fall Support Group, every Thursday we have the Thanks God It's Thursday. And we featured wonderful therapists, clinicians, academicians, business owner or mentors who will going to explain more, give us some techniques or tips that makes them very good innovator and wonderful nowadays. So we'll learn to know more about them. So today, this Thursday, we have John Davis. John Davis is a New Zealander, originally from New Zealand, and now he is based in Surfers Paradise in Australia. So he's a physical therapist, they call it physiotherapist in Australia as well, and also now he's been retired and helping clinicians such as like us who has private practice or doing outpatient, who want to be maybe mobile therapist to learn more about how to improve their business. So that's how is what will be his mission. And now to learn more about him and also to give us more knowledge about his transition from clinicians to become a business mentor, we have John Davis. Thank you so much, John. We really
Pleasure.
appreciate you. Welcome to Balance and Fall Support Group and to Fish Gen PT and Wellness Podcast. How are you?
Doing great, thank you. It's first thing in the morning here, so it's beautiful.
Yeah, what time is it right now there in Australia?
It's 10 a.m.
10 a.m. Okay. Yeah. So John Davie, so tell us more about yourself. So when you become your physiotherapist before a physical therapist, which area do you usually work? Is it in hospital setting or outpatient?
in private practice. So
Oh,
I guess what my story is a wee bit unique.
uh-huh.
So I thought I'd give you a bit of a background
Yes,
to
sir.
bring it into perspective. So when I first came out as a student, I was lucky enough to get a position with New Zealand's premier Olympic physio,
Wow.
and I worked for him for 12 months. And after 12 months, I went and saw my father, who was my business mentor. And I said to Dad, hey, I want to go and start my own business. And he said, fantastic. He said, let's go and look at to buy a practice that's for sale or start one up your own. And I went on, and Dad, sorry, what I mean is I want to learn to be a painter and paper hanger like you and take over your business. And he had a bit of a fit. He said, why would you want to do something like that after all this study to be a physiotherapist? I said, Dad, I've had a look around at all these physiotherapy business owners, and none of them have the lifestyle you have. They don't go on holidays with their family like you. They don't have a holiday house like you, and they're always frantic. They're working non-stop. They don't have much time off. I don't want that for my family. And he said, hey, let's go and take a breath here. And I was playing water polo internationally at that stage. And he said, every time you go on an overseas tour, let's go and have a look at what the best of the best practices around the world are doing. And in 12 months' time, let's go and put a business plan in place. And if that business plan can get you what you want, great, let's put it in place. If not, learn to take over my painting business. And so I went, fantastic. This is a winner for me. I'm on a win-win. So after 12 months, we put a business plan in place after pretty much traveling around the world and visiting over 15 elite practices. And one thing that I really came to realize that the elite practices, the really thriving practices, had no worries whatsoever about sharing information. So smaller practices that didn't want to share information was like they had something gold there. And so after 12 months, we put a business plan in place. And 3 years later, we were twice as big as New Zealand's next biggest practice.
Wow.
And people, I remember going to a family reunion, and one of my uncles said to Dad, oh, John's the physio. And Dad looked at him and said, "Oh, no, no, John's a businessman, after who happens to be a physio."
Okay.
And, I love being a physio. Don't get me wrong. I loved the hands-on. I loved making a difference with people.
Mm-hmm.
But I also realized that physios aren't taught business skills. And so as a consequence, we work really hard, but because we don't have those business skills, a lot of people that they think they own a business, but they really own a job because they don't have the business skills to turn it into a business.
Oh, that's a
Does
good.
that make sense?
Yes, yes. That's a good point. Yeah.
So, I became quite passionate about helping other physios. And then I ended up with a systemic arthritic condition, which I still have. I've just had an artificial shoulder put in to go
Mm-hmm.
with my artificial hip and my artificial disc. So
Mm-hmm.
um, it meant that I could no longer be a clinician. So I basically retired for a while. And then I got bored. My wife said I was boring. I was spending too much time doing nothing. So I decided to get back out and do what I love most, which is being a physio, but to actually teach physios how to run their business and how to put a business in place. And I guess that's how I ended up becoming a business coach. Um,
Yeah.
and and I love seeing people make a difference.
That's wonderful. That's a great transition, and that's a great summary for you. I like when you say that's your passion, John. And then that's a good point when you say we have a job, but we are a business owner and we are a businessman in nature. Because I agree with you. Whenever we talk to our patient, let's say I have a job and we are being employed. When we talk to our patient, we're selling our skills already and telling them, even in different setting, you need to do a therapy today, because every day is like a battle. Are you going to work with me, or things like that? And the business mindset there is that when you are in different setting, you're going to work on that, how you will work and improve that. So now that's really wonderful. So how about, how how did you learn? Let's say, how about different courses? How about different books that improve you during the time to become a business mentor or business
Yeah.
coach?
Okay. I'm just going to take a step back from something you said about working with patients and being
Yes,
passionate about it.
yes, yes.
Um, you know, we undersell ourselves. You know, we change individuals' lives, but we change family dynamics, and especially the field that you're in, balance and falls. It's a significant field. It's not something that can be taken for granted. Often you're saving lives because of the damage that can happen from a fall, or changing the whole family dynamics. And we undersell ourselves too much, and we should stop doing that. We offer incredible value to individuals, families, and communities. And so, sure, we need to sell ourselves. We cannot underserve. We cannot take that for granted. And so, I just wanted to cover that. But getting back
I
to
like that. I like that.
getting back to learning about business, I become a prolific reader, and John Maxwell is one of my favorites. Uh, just a tremendous author, and his latest book, Leader Shift, I think is a must read for many, many people. Um, and I've also I come from an elite sports background, so our whole family and even my kids all play international sport. And so one of the things that we realized early on is culture. The internal culture of a sporting organization will determine its success. It's the same for business. It's that internal culture is the most important thing, and it stems from the person at the top. So the leadership component is critical. Where do the leaders stand? What do the leaders stand for? That has to be really painted out strong before any business goes to the next level. And so, reading and being being in a position where you go, hey, this is what I stand for. These are the services I stand for, and this is what I'm going to do, is the start of everything. And then ask, because I've found, this, Jennifer, that people that really have a lot to offer, they don't clam up. They'll tell you what they've got to offer. And so get out there and ask for help. And you'll be surprised. If you ask, you'll get. If you don't ask, you won't get.
Yes, that's what they keep saying. You need to ask, and then that's the time that you will know that you will get something because you didn't ask at first, and you will be surprised what will be the outcome by just asking.
Yep.
So, especially now, we have clinicians and caregivers in our group. We are lots of clinicians listening right now. As a business mentor and business coach, John, when do you think is the right time for a specific therapist that he needs to move on? He needs to build his business on his own. And what do you think are the time or the characteristics that he is ready now?
Yeah, that's a really good question,
Thank you.
and it's it varies an awful lot. So um, I've worked with people who have had small practices, and they've come to me and they said, "Hey, look, we're sick and tired of having a small practice. We might as well be working for somebody else. We could make just as much money without the headaches that go with it." And when we've come back down to have a really in-deep discussion with them, you know what? It actually suited them to go and work for someone else because they weren't suited to be a business owner. Whereas on the flip side, I just one of the ladies that we work with is a vestibular imbalance, has a vestibular imbalance business here in Australia. She was a private practitioner for 10 years by herself. And she said, "I'm sick and tired of doing this, John. I want my own business." And it was like we did an analysis on her business to recognize what her missing links were, and they were all business, how to run a business link. She was a great clinician, but she didn't have business skills. When we put them in place, she has 10 full-time equivalent physios working out of her practice now after being a solo operator for 10 years. So she was ready. Whereas on the flip side, someone else that had a small business wasn't ready. So it really comes down to that personal aspect is, do you really want to own a job or do you want to own a business? Because if you want to just own a job, which is like working for yourself and, you know, making the same type of money as you could work for somebody else, you need to ask yourself, why are you doing it? Is it, I call it, there's two type of measurements: there's sanity measures and vanity measures. And too many people get involved in the vanity game. I've got my own business, but the sanity is, well, what type of lifestyle do you have because of your business? What type of income are you making? The lifestyle that goes with it. So I think it comes down to that individualized aspect. Does that make sense?
Yes, that's really good. It's my first time to hear that sanity versus vanity, and it's a rhyme, right? But it makes a great point. It's an eye opener as well. I think I'm sure that when they approach you and they want you to be their business coach, you always ask, first is what is your why, right? Because that's what you even ask, why are you doing this? So when they have a big why, and that's it will comes out when you're doing an interview and everything. But I'm sure also they are all different clinicians are all different, they have different goals. I'm here in America. It's very challenging right now with the different reimbursements that we have:
Yeah.
Medicare, Medicaid, we have cash based therapists as well. So I know everybody will be different, and that's why, how do you think you can help us, John?
Okay. Look, I think that whenever I start helping anyone, we always start with a diagnosis. So I flip it over, and I go, if someone came to you with a condition, and you wouldn't go, "I've got your solution right," and you put them on a program. You'd first of all do a thorough diagnosis, and you'd find out, what are the subjective findings? What are the objective finding? Any special tests before you come up with a diagnosis and a plan? We do the same thing. And I don't believe that there's a one plan fits everybody, because they've all got different aspirations, and different people have got different experiences. So what we do when we work with anyone is we do a full diagnosis, and we basically look at 8 different components, business components, that they should be operating under, and then how well they understand those 8 components and what they have in place. And then based on those findings is we give them an action plan with a timeline to put it in place. So much like what you do with a patient. And I think that makes it easy to understand.
That's nice. That's really, at least when they approach you, they know the initial things, what they expect, right? Especially it comes always from us. They always ask me, how about you, Jenny? What do you really want to do? Do you want to use reimbursement? Do you want to be on cash base? What are the people that you love to treat? You know, we need to have our own niche at first.
Absolutely.
So clarity,
And,
yeah, clarity is very
and
important.
you actually hit it on the head. Why are you in business in the first place? Because if you're in business to go and create something substantial, but you have chosen a niche which won't ever allow that to happen, you've got to change your niche or change your expectations.
I that's also new. Either you change your niche or change your expectations.
Yeah, or
Wow.
widen, add something to it.
Mm-hmm. That's good. So so you told us already that how you will assess us when we approach you. How about what we will expect with the Physio Business Growth? Can you tell us more about your
Yeah.
programs, John?
It, so we've gone through a real transition. Whereas for many years I worked one-on-one with people just like you. Every second week we would sit down, we would look at their business, and we would put programs in place. And and my personal aspiration is to leave the profession in a better place than I found it. So I want to help as many people as we can. So I was lucky enough to run into some people who were just tremendous at technology and being able to take what's in here and our experience and put it online in a fashionable way that people can utilize. And so what we did is we created an online program that people could use, but it was missing a link. And we were really fortunate enough to work with some software developers who created something quite unique, an online diagnosis or diagnostic. So what this diagnostic does is you can go in, you can put all your business components and your understanding of how to run a business, and it will give us a report of what you should do in what order. And then you can go online and learn about it. So we actually have an online program now. And the online program is called the Premium Business Accelerator, which basically has every type of business component you need to run a physical therapy business. However, it's totally overwhelming unless you have the diagnostic that goes with it.
Yes, yes.
And so the diagnostic helps. So that's one thing we do. And then on top of that, we have our fast track program. Our fast track program is when we work with someone one on one for 3 months, because within 3 months, we should have given them all the knowledge that they need on how to use the business accelerator to the best of their circumstances so they can really make a difference. So we work on 2 things: operations and metrics.
Oh
If
wow.
unless we're working on metrics, we're wasting our time, because you can have a business that has all the operations in place, but if it's not meeting the right metrics, it's not doing its job. And the number one metric is profitability. Why are you in business? So sure, there's a number of other metrics that have to work with it, but let's keep things real. You're in business to make a profit and have a lifestyle. So let's make sure we're measuring both of those things early on.
That's good. So you have the online diagnostic. So this one is like what you've said, that It's like a history taking to us as a physiotherapist.
Correct.
And, and we will see how what are the signs and symptoms, your weaknesses, and then that's where, all right, the diagnosis says that you're weak here. These are the things that we will work on together. All right, that's
Yeah.
really good. You applied your being physiotherapist in the business itself,
Correct.
right? So that's really wonderful. So you're online, so you can really work with us here in America. This is all over. So which country are you covering? Is it like all
Yeah.
over?
Look, it's interesting because I just had a chat with one of my clients today in South Carolina. So, we're working with some physical therapists in America, but we work throughout New Zealand, Australia, throughout North America, the UK and Ireland, and Israel. They're the main areas that we concentrate in.
Wow, that's really good. That's a wide area.
Yeah. What it does is it allows us to see what the experts are doing in different areas, so we can take that knowledge and put it over here
Oh,
and bring
yeah.
it all together. And it also allows us to do this. We we can get with a whole bunch of different experts who will share their knowledge quite openly, put it into the group, and so people can utilize it. So, Physio Business Growth isn't it's not a one man ship. We've got a wonderful relationship with a lot of elite business owners or experts in different areas who just share openly and willingly, all with the same focus of helping our profession move forward. So,
That's really good. So you gave us an inspiration, especially to all the listeners right now who are clinicians, really tired of working on being employed, really have a goal of wishing I have my own clinic or wishing that I have my own therapy business, I know clinic right now is also challenging with the COVID-19,
yeah,
especially when they have this clinic brick and mortar, and but we have many options. We have telehealth. They can do like cash based basis if the Medicare is your or insurance is your challenge, things like that. So how what are the common question, John, the
yeah.
what you always hear from your students or from your, yeah, from the students or your the therapist that coming to you? Was there
Yeah,
always majority of
yeah,
the questions that
yeah.
you encounter?
You know, I tell you what, it comes real deep down because it's often under several layers. The biggest thing is, can I do this? The the real thing is
I like
that
that.
that
Uh-huh.
that that can I do this? And I would say to you categorically, if you have a why that is powerful enough and you're prepared to make changes, yes, you can. And then some people go, what kind of changes do I need? And I really want to come back to saying my dad used to say that if you knew how to do it, you'd already be doing it. So if you're not creating what you want, what you're doing is not working. So you need to change what you're doing.
Wow.
And one of the biggest inhibitors are people that want change but aren't prepared to change what they're doing. Sign of
That's
insanity, right?
Yeah, that's really, really strong, right? And change is very powerful because if you don't change, you're not moving,
Mm.
you know?
Yep. And also,
It's really,
one of the other issues that we have with physical therapists all around the world is when we talk about business, they start thinking it's like a swear word, it's like a dirty word because we're clinicians. You know, it's we can be great ethical business owners, and we should be. Everything we should do should be have the highest ethics behind every procedure, every operation that we do, and we can be rewarded really well for our ethical principles, both clinically and business wise. So, being a good businessman doesn't mean you're not ethically inclined. It should be the exact opposite. A good businessman is
yeah.
ethically inclined.
I like that. Yeah. And I believe that's the main reason why some of the therapists wanted to be having their own business because they want to really serve the people, with not rushing but by the
Yep.
time that they imply that how many patients, these are the, especially in skilled nursing facilities, they are time bounded and everything, like they need to see a specific clients or patients that particular time or day, but when you have your own clinic, ethically you're able to do what
Yeah.
you wanted to serve your
Yep. You set the rules.
and if you are insurance, yeah, if you're not insurance bound or you're like cash based, you can really, the client has an option. I want to continue. You're not bound with Medicare. Oh, I'm so sorry. You're only for 4 weeks, and you can really see that they can improve, but still
Yeah.
you're bounded and everything. That's a
Yeah.
good
Even
point.
from this
Yeah.
perspective with Medicare, you can tell your patients, look, we have two options here. We have a Medicare option, or we have a gold standard program. We've got a gold standard program or something which is far less than gold standard, which is your Medicare program. What would you prefer? And if you're a cash-based business, most people will go, hey, look, I want a gold standard program. Now, particularly for the niche that you guys work in, balance and full support, goodness me, this has a significant impact on families' futures. And so,
Yes.
I would think that if you actually use some type of saying like that, hey, look, we have a substandard program over here called Medicare, or we have a gold standard program over here. What would you prefer?
That's wonderful. Yeah, I love gold. The client will say, "Oh, I love gold." Second to this. Yeah, so that's really good option. I'm sure our clinicians are really being inspired listening right now with you. They will have a motivation. Oh my gosh, John said that I can do this. I can do this. And then, so what will be your first tip for us as a clinician and as a business, um, for the clinicians who's looking forward to have their own business? What will be your tip for them
Look,
who's listening
the
right
very
now?
first thing is to define why you want to be in business, define what your end point wants to be, and then to start to plan out with the timeline the different things that you need to put in place to initiate your business, knowing that there's an end point. So it's so important to define what your end point would look like, because too many people, they start out in business and the business is them. And so they treat and they treat and they treat and they treat and they think, how could I possibly do anything else? And that's going to put a ceiling on their ability to build a business if they are being a full-time clinician and not being a business owner as well. So you need to be able to proportion that going through. And when you've built up a business, so you've got like 3 full-time equivalents, our recommendation is what we call the 223 program.
Mm,
Two, 2 days in
okay.
the business, working as a clinician, 2 days on the business, and 3 days out of the business every week. And that's when you know you've got things under control.
Oh, that's nice.
Mm.
2 days as a clinician, 2 days as a business owner, and the 3 days
Out of the
are
business,
not
not treating,
out of this.
being
Okay.
fresh, being open to new ideas.
Family. Mm-hmm. So that's really a balance, work balance there,
Correct.
right?
So you got to think about why you're in. Too
That's
many people, I'm going to set my own business up because I love my family, and then they never spend any time with their family. They spend all this time in their business because they love their family, and that just doesn't make sense. So you've got to start with an end point. What does you want your end point to look like, and then you put a timeline and an action plan in place to achieve that.
yes. What are you looking for 5 years from now? Something like that. What are you
Correct.
looking for after 10 years? So we have a short-term goal and long-term goal.
Correct.
And as a
Correct.
business coach, you will going to work to each other. So what are you willing to? Because usually what they will say, I don't want to do my documentation. I'm always nighttime and I don't have time for my family. I want to have my own, you know, luxury of time to work. But this is my goal to have my family like that. Always that's what they will keep saying. That's coming from me, not that's me. Documentation at night. I even being
Uh,
hypertensive last 2 years ago just by walk. I'm still awake midnight doing the nose, and then we just keep improving and improving right now. And then I asked them to lessen the clients. per day, so we can send it the same day, and it improves, and become shorter documentation. We became smarter with the note taking, but still,
Yeah,
people are really looking for more on. They want to have their own, what they call their own. So,
correct.
yes, that's wonderful. So, how can we connect with you? Definitely, we want to know more, John.
All you need to go to my website, physiobusinessgrowth.com, and it's got all the details you'll need there. So physiobusinessgrowth.com, and you can connect to us via that. We've also got a whole lot of free resources there, so you can just
Okay.
jump on and grab the free resources. There's video trainings and there's ebooks, and there's
Mm-hmm.
a whole bunch of stuff there.
Oh, wonderful. And do you have, let's say, like a short time to talk with you if you're a good fit, like they call it Calendly, 30
Yep,
minutes chat. Do you offer that as well, John?
correct. Yes, so that's on the website. You can just book a call with
Okay.
us.
Oh, I'll book a call. All
Yep,
right. So
yep.
that's it, guys. So thank you so much, John. This is really amazing. We learn as a business owner. We are clinicians looking forward to have our own as well to help more people, and to help our family as well. So, guys, if you are one of those clinicians looking forward and thinking, can I make it? Can I do this? When is the best time? So, chat with John, and John Davie will be if you will be a good fit for you. You see him how he talk. You just need to know what you want, get your niche, know your why, and then connect with
Correct.
him. So Physio Business Growth is the name of his company. He is also a physical therapist like us, so he feels and knows what we wanted to do. You know what I mean? You need to be one to know one. And thank you so much, John. Any other closing remarks for us?
Stay positive and understand that, during this COVID scenario, it's been pretty tough for you guys in America. But I'll let you know this. Um, Areas around the world like New Zealand and Australia, which have hardly been hit at all because of their national policies, they are seeing record growth because people realize the fragility of life and they're not going to put up with it anymore. So they're coming out of this COVID scenario and going, hey, I'm not putting up with this. I want to get better. Show me what I need to do. We need to be prepared for this as well. So it's really exciting time to be in business right now. So thanks for having us.
Wow, that's wonderful. Great, great tips there, and also recommendations for all of us. So, guys, so welcome also, John, and thank you so much. So, guys, if you have any questions, connect with us. It's me again, Dr. Jenny Yusuf, physical therapist and doctor of physical therapy. Connect with Physiogen PT and Wellness and Balance and Falls, creator of Balance and Falls in Aging Adults. Thank you so much, guys. If you have any questions, Physio Business Growth and also Physiogen PT and Wellness, you can email us and I'll connect you definitely to John. Thank you, guys. Bye for